Inspire.
Kwaniriza nate ku program ya Inspire. Program ya Inspire yaba chala bato babera ba sharing nawe their life experiences. I know we all go through the same things. Naye if someone shares their story, oh bobo inacho itamu nga ye yachitamu, you don't have to go through the same thing. At least for you can learn something and avoid the same mistakes. Oba notatuka kweri point yeje yatuka ko kubanga botawuliriza botayiga oba ogenda yita bintu byebimu. Naye ngambe baza bulijjo abalaba naffe program ya Inspire tubeera Sunday saa 12:30 za kawungezi ku Spark TV ate bw'ogisobola ogira ku Lwokuna our repeat saa 9 z'olweggulo oba n'ogiraba ku YouTube channel yaffe eya Inspire. My name is Sheila Nakayemba and today I have a special guest. You're going to see her. Naye katsoke abatukiriza okolera mu kifo kyabwe beba Dynasty Lounge wano Wampewo Avenue we wasangibwa. If you want breakfast, lunch, dinner, deliveries, parties, osobola okubeera ng'obakubira. Kankuleetera omugenyi olwaleero. Wow, today I have a special guest. Please, do you know Luganda?
Yeah, I know a little bit. I can understand more and I can speak
less.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we are going to be mixing. So how are you?
That's very okay with me. I am fine.
I'm glad to have you on Inspire.
It's my pleasure. It's good to be here. Thank you for hosting me.
Thank you too for. So, tell us about yourself.
My name is Peace Apio, known by many as Ziti.
Ziti.
Yes. I'm a social entrepreneur, currently running a coffee business called AfriCoffee. AfriCoffee, yes. It's a coffee business. We produce coffee from the farm until it's ready to be taken. So I basically work with young mothers who are victims. Some of them were raped at a young age by parents, fathers or brothers or just outsiders, and they got pregnant and no one is supporting them. So I basically started AfriCoffee to empower them and then help them earn a living. So what we basically do is we grow coffee. After we grow coffee, we do the production ourselves, me and the young mothers, and then we market it, sell it, and we export as well. That is how I manage to help them get food on their tables, feed their children. Those who are going back to school, it helps them with some requirements for school. That's what I basically do.
I didn't want to cut your intro, but you look young. And all this you're doing.
Yeah, I am actually young, but I was once a young mother. I had my child when I was just making 17 years old, my first child. I'm a mother of 2 children now. Yes, so I had to grow. I had to grow. Being in such a situation, I had to grow. Where you're left alone, like society despises you, everyone feels like like you cannot do what other people are supposed to do. You cannot go back to school. I had to grow. That
some mothers give up. Once you give birth, you start feeling like.
Yes, you start feeling like totally to like you're no longer somebody. Yeah, so you despise yourself. You look down.
But now for you, that is what gave you courage.
That is I sometimes I be there and I thank God. Like if I did not go through this, I wouldn't be the person I am today. At this age that I am right now, like I still need care, like parental care, being at school, maybe campus. But this is the age that I am supporting other people. I am actually taking a lot of bigger responsibilities, bigger than me, I can say.
Some are even older than you.
You know? Yes. So I am actually grateful for that situation.
Yeah, so how was that experience?
It is the worst I have ever experienced. You know, a child giving birth to a child, and then you don't know who's going to take care of who. Now I am a baby, I have given birth to a baby. Oh, check it.
Yeah.
Like, it is traumatizing. I went through depression. That what hurts me most is that at that time when I thought I would have support maybe from family or friends, is the time that I was left. Yeah, I don't blame them for that.
Does it still hurt you?
It doesn't hurt me now.
I
Oh
know.
no. No, it doesn't hurt me anymore. So I am just looking back and looking at that time. I was like, that is the time I needed family the most. Naenga buli omu like awulira nti aswala being with me like So I couldn't even tell my mother that I've gotten into this, because I remember when I was still at high school, she could warn you like, if people get pregnant now, you're checking. Like, don't call me. Your uncles will say this. You know, my mom was a single mother. Your fathers will say this. Your relatives will say this. So don't ashame me. So I couldn't even, when I fell into that trap, I couldn't even give my mother a call. I left school. I went and started living with a friend. She's also a student, just living in hostel. Can you imagine, like, you're moving with someone and someone feels like, like, you know that feeling, like, sometimes I could lock myself up in the house and I couldn't even move anywhere. Because there are times I could walk, everyone akutunulira. Some people are grabbing videos of you, like, you know, you're just 16 making 17, you're small and you're carrying a big stomach, like, it is shame. I went through depression. Sometimes I could wake up in the night and I want to kill myself. I'm like, I want to die, like I just felt like I want to die. Because I didn't know, something was growing in my stomach, but I didn't know how. What am I going to do?
So who are you talking to during that period?
I was just basically my friends that I was staying with. They're the only people I was talking to.
The few that accepted to stay with you.
The few that accepted to stay with you. Naenga, they're accepting to stay with you. Nae olaba, like, you're not being treated well. Like, you're always left out. Oh my God, that is the worst experience. You know, my boyfriend was there to take you back. Like, when I just got a child, when I just noticed that I was expecting, because I told the guy, I'm gamba, like, I've missed my period. I think something is wrong. So we confirmed that yes, something happened. Umanya kubuza omuntu, like, what should I do? Na kubuza, what do you want to do? Oh, that's when you get to know, like, you know, expect someone to at least, you know, comfort you and be like, okay, maybe we can do this or do that. Now, what do you want to do? Do you want to keep it or get rid of it? You know, such a question.
Do you even know the difference?
I'm like, I don't even know the difference. So me, at that point, I was scared, having heard a lot of stories that when you go through abortion, a lot of women die and all that, you know. So that was my worry. I actually got scared. So I told him I don't want to abort because I don't want to die. Then he's like, will you take care of that baby?
Jay!
I'm like, Jesus. Huh?
Hey, who's baby?
I'm like, if you're ready, it is okay. If I am ready, it is okay, is what I said. I'm like, Sebo. So the longer I took, you know, trying to find solution, trying to think whether I should abort or keep the child, the more the kid grew in the womb. I came back to my senses, like, and see, like, the world has overstepped on me. It was 6 months. That's when I thought, like, you know, I just want to abort. is when I realized like I couldn't at that. You know, the baby was already grown, so I was like, okay, I have no choice but to keep. It's not an easy one. It's not an easy one. So that is when I started to think beyond. Yeah, I'm like, I am now a mother, I have to accept it.
After giving birth?
No, it was still when the baby was on process, like I was 8 to 9 months, I had to accept. I convinced myself and I was like, it doesn't matter how long I'm going to cry, blame everyone for leaving me. I got into this, you know, I don't blame society or family. You know, we are Africans. Most of the African community think that way, that once you give birth at a young age or once you conceive at a young age, like you are ashamed, you are ashamed. You're called sorts of names. That is how it is in our societies. So I had to think beyond. That's when I started thinking of an idea, like, okay, I have to make money now. So I started buying coffee from farmers in Impeji district. By then I was staying in Impeji district. That's when I started buying the coffee. You know, I could buy like 2 kilograms.
I was going to ask you, how is even coffee related to
actually,
the story? So why coffee?
Why coffee? It's because I grew up in an area where coffee was grown, and I got to know that it's a good business to help me make money. By then I was not thinking of helping anyone else. It was for myself, yes. So I was like, let me think of a business that will help me earn a living. You know, coffee is a beautiful business, I'm telling you. Like, so I started purchasing coffee with the money that I got. I processed it, and then I started checking house by house for people to check on the samples. And then I started meeting different tourists.
At 8 months?
Yes, different tourists. By then, before I got pregnant, I was at Social Innovation Academy. It's a German school in Impeji district, where I got a scholarship after my senior 4. Before I even could finish my senior 4, I was just, yes. So I got a scholarship at Social Innovation Academy. What they basically do is turn challenges into opportunities. They share with you business ideas, you know. They help you grow business-wise. So I was there for not even a couple of months. Then, yeah, so when I went there are a lot of whites coming in. You know, it's a German school. So I started getting my clients from there. I got their contacts and they started ordering, you know, and I could send it to them for just home use. I don't export for companies, and all that is just home, family use, small packages. Yeah, so I started, you know. Then I thought...
You'd order from the village?
Yes, I would order from the village, I process it and then package it and send it to my clients. That's how I started to grow.
So this time you're like, I'm expecting, you gave up on studies?
Yeah, I had to. I had to. I had to. I'm like, okay, now if I invest in being at school, what about my child? You know, I had to choose one. For now, let me take care of my child with the little that I'm getting. If I'm to go back to school, I will go. There is, you know, school is there always. You get some.
So in that period, you didn't get any advice or mentorship or someone to talk to advise you, or you just woke up one day and you're like, you know what?
I can tell you the truth. I had no one to comfort me. I had no one to advise me. I had to comfort myself and advise myself. You get? Because when I tried...
My mom usually tells me, oh, you know,
oh, she said, yeah. That was it for me. Omanyinga, you feel like, oyogera no muntu, you need advice. Nakugamba. But they told you. I'm like, okay, they told me, now I'm in problems. What can I do? The Simani, you see, this is what I tell people. You know that kind of advice.
Yeah, I know.
So like, how are you comforted? Like, so I'm like, let me let people be. Let me comfort myself.
Okay, let's go for a short commercial break. Wetukomao agena kuba tubuulira from helping herself. How did she even come up with the idea of helping other young mothers?
Inspire.
Weewaawo tukyagenda mu maaso ne program ya Inspire era ng'omuwala gwe nnina olwaleero yaliko young mother naye okubeera nga yakiyitamu tekyamuleetera kwekubagiza otuuka ne weebuulirira and you're like what do I do next tobeeraawo mu kukungubaga paka you have to stand up obeeko kyokola and that's what she did. So Peace otandika ogamba n'ogamba naye kino ekintu kati kirina okusukka ku nze. When did that come up?
That was actually when I was 8 to 9 months, almost giving birth to my child. Is when I started feeling like I need to work now beyond. So that is the time I had to think. I have to think like a mother. I have to think beyond. So when the kid came, I already planned. I had to start to plan. Already I had my ideas. So I'm like, okay, when I just received my child like this, I knew what I'm supposed to do. I knew when I was supposed to do it. I knew how I was going to do it. I was even planning 5 years ahead. I started planning all that when I was before. Yes.
Watandika okwera mango the single mother or you planned maybe November?
No, but then yeah, like I was still talking to my boyfriend and all that, having conversation. Even to like in a large portion, it was just only me planning for myself and for my child. Now like checking, you know, yes, like yeah, checking nayo labanti is not too much, like, you know. So I had to let him be for now. Of course, I still needed my boyfriend. Nice, but it's you know. By then I didn't even know what love is. Ngamani, it is a must. I have to be with the father of my child. So now things like that, by the make us make a lot of mistakes. You're still leaning on someone. Gomulinda, like let me wait for someone to plan for me or do what? No, you have to start on your own. Like they're there, but they are not going to help you more than you can help yourself. That is when I started to grow in my mind. I received my child. I remember, like, I don't know, but I didn't even have a lot to receive my child with. The maniba firstborn, abantu betege kanyo, like, you know, baguzechi no, baguzechiri. People are excited to receive firstborns. I even had to get my bed sheet that I was using and cut it in 2 pieces for me to be able to cover my kid. Like no one.
So even at 9 months, your mom didn't.
No, my mom didn't know when from the time I started. From the time I got pregnant until I was in the hospital after I've given birth. Is when I was like, oh mani, mama, Charlie, mama, like she will always be your mother. She will always accept you. Nengamba munange doctor, sabako kuna min kusimuyo. I first call my mother. I'm like, I am so tired. I have to call her now. So I called my mother. Nemgamba mama. Omanyi? Ndi wana in Entebbe Hospital. Entebbe Grade B is where I gave birth from. Nanga machichi, how did you live in PG to Entebbe Hospital? What is the problem? I told her, Mama, I've given birth. Like she could see she's in shock. Mama wange, my mother got like you could feel it nti muna taman chakola like.
Check abantu abakwetolodde tebalina lugambo.
No, you know in Mpigi I didn't have any family. I was there alone.
So even when you ran away from school,
when I ran away from no one, I just disappeared. You know, and I went and stayed in Mpigi, just hiding from the whole world. Cut in Mpigi, I just met new friends. Tewala manyim about my family, this and this. So I kept quiet until the point I had to like say no, enough is enough. Let me tell my mother I don't care what is going to happen. Nemgamba, she came to the hospital and she saw a baby there. She just looked at me like this. Nemgamba, please, how are you? Gataina, she doesn't have, you know, like she was like, and then you kept quiet for all that long. I think she started blaming me for keeping quiet for all that long. I'm like, even if I said during that time, you know.
But maybe there's a reason why you had to go through all this.
There is a reason why I had to go through all that. Yeah.
So how did you start including other young mothers?
So after I'd given birth to my child, I actually felt like no mother, no young girl should go through the same situation. Chitandika, like it starts within you. To me, I'm passionate about helping and supporting. While people who go through, who have, let them learn on their own. They should also face it, you know. I am so passionate about helping, supporting a fellow woman, you know. I was like, okay, but there are a lot of young mothers in Mpigi district that I met. I'm like, okay, have I just come to where a group of us are kept or something? When I was there, I discovered there are a lot. There are a lot of them, you know. Some are 13 years, some kids are 12 years. I'm like, I thought like I am alone. And so I was like, I'm going back to support those girls. That's what I told myself. I'm going back to support those girls. Personally, from the money that I could make from my coffee. I don't have sponsors. I don't have people who fund me that we have sent you some money, use it for your business. You know, I make my own money and go back and support those mothers, you know. I have the sessions with them. I teach them, I train them how to grow coffee. Most of them, of course, tebayagala nyo kola, you know, maybe farming. Not everyone is passionate about the same thing or wants the same idea. So others, you take them to another department, you tell them, okay, for you, you're going to be here. You're going to do tailoring. You're going to make our coffee bags since we use the tailoring machines to make them. So when you're learning how to make those bags, of course, you expand, you learn how to make clothes, you know, by expanding that department.
So to take us back, njagala that abantu bewasoko kola nabo chiche mwakola mwaba engaging on how you've been buying it oba wanu waliyo tansoredo oku. Do you even grow it for yourself now?
No, I don't grow it for myself now. I just partner with farmers and then they have me the coffee and I process it.
So tell me about that experience of how you engaged the first mothers that you worked with.
So what we did, I used to purchase like now 1,000 kilograms from farmers. I gave them a responsibility till we have got the coffee from the farm. It is not ready, like you see, it's not ready. We are going to dry it. Yeah, so we could meet in a point. It was at Kaleke Kasome Foundation. That guy Maurice Hass, I'm so grateful to him. Like he gave me space. Like we could meet there and to drying a coffee, you know, on how like you could teach them step by step. Then I could come to the production area. We process the coffee, we sort it, you know, step by step. So then I would take on from there and market it, because most of them were not on social media, they didn't have contacts, they didn't have connections. So that's basically how I started with them. And now at this point, they don't actually do much. You know, they don't actually do much. I am taking on everything on myself. Like I have people I work with, I employ people, like dry the coffee for me. After it's dry, you send it over. I myself, I take myself to the production area with a few girls. We process it. All of our work is now becoming less, you know, because Kasente is coming, you know. So they are rested. They feel, you know, like there is nothing more to do. So when the money is got, I remember that, you know what, I am going to divide it with these girls, I'm going to give them this, I'm going to buy them food, just so like that.
Do they have like a home or budiomu umsangawa you connect where they live?
Oh yeah, I connect from where they live. Yeah, I don't have, but that is my plan.
To have a
to
home.
have a home for those young mothers. Yeah, they don't have where.
So do you work with only those that have children or
yes,
even the ones that have just
yes. I also work with the youth, because mbabulira, like, you don't have to, you know, if I keep supporting those ones who have gotten pregnant at a young age, I don't tell those ones who are not yet pregnant that it's not good, you know, you shall keep having them, because we money into all support. So I advise even the youth, even the children who are not yet gotten in that situation, I advise them not to get themselves in that situation. So now I'm expanding to not only working with young mothers, but also the youth. But they may like to fall into, you know, so we have less issues of early pregnancies, you know. Yeah, that's basically how I am working apparently.
It's amazing what young women are doing.
Yes.
It's amazing. It's a lot. Abantu abakulu eduli beba bikolanga nosoko okola nawe nozala nogamba kati kanyambeko kubalala. It's like giving back to the community.
Yes, giving back to the community.
But you're even still going through that situation naye nosalawo kolechi.
Yes.
Oyamba abalala.
Yeah.
So what are some of the challenges zozudde ezisinga okuaffecting abantu ba young mothers oba n'ebizibu bye basinga, like ekisinga okubaleetera okufuna embuto at this young stage?
So the challenges these young mothers are facing, like the biggest challenge is being rejected by society and families. You know, like it is okay to make mistakes. Yeah, and it's also okay to learn from the mistakes we have made. Now it's got society, like they feel like once you've made a mistake,
that is it.
That is it, you know. So most of them are being rejected by families, like, you know, they're being pushed away. Yeah, I don't know why a young mother who still needs to be at school, yeah, because a mistake, yeah, she has made a mistake. Why wouldn't she be at school, even in that mistake? Why is she left alone? Doesn't she need to study? She does, you know. But our mindset is like, once you... That is not, and that is not the case, you know. That is not the case. I feel like that is when they need support. You get, vaige. Now, like me, I'm telling you the truth. I didn't have that support. Now, I did another mistake and gave birth to another child. You get. Yeah?
Even the second child was a mistake.
No, it's not a mistake to me, because I was capable now at that point, but you know. But if I had someone, of course, still when I got a second child, I was not ready. I was not yet ready, you know. But it also came along the way. But if I had someone, you know, accept me and tell me, you know, welcome me, I wouldn't have, you know. So me now in that situation, I'm like, Zekanzale.
So
how
far with your life now? Have you gone back to school? Have you considered going back?
I have not gone back to school. I have not considered going back to school. My firstborn is at school. I have to pay his school fees. I have to make sure he's a great man in future. The secondborn is coming in few years from now. He will also be at school. So I do online classes. Yeah, online classes just to grow my business, you know, to get skill on how I can expand with my business, how I can support, you know, the victims and all that. That's basically what I am doing, apparently. But schools again are pulling.
For some reason, I knew your story wouldn't, like 30 minutes wouldn't be enough for us.
I know, yeah.
So I'll have to bring you some other day.
Yeah.
Your last words to the young mothers?
My last words to the young mothers is you need to accept yourself. If you've fallen into a situation, that is not the end. That is not the end. You pick yourself up. Tell yourself that you're better than what you are now. You can still do more great things. Tokiriza abantu bakulimbe like it is the end of your nedda. You can still grow, be a great person, be the next piece that I am today. You need to still hear my story, but some other day. It's still long. But I encourage them to just accept themselves.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing your story. I'll be inviting you soon. Oyongero tubuulira.
Yes.
How this foundation is even going on. Naenga on My Beautiful Dress, Joanita Yanyambaza wali ku Clarets Boutique 0772 3305 91. Program ya Inspire. Tusisinkane wiki.